Hi, my name is Sam. Welcome to Nothing Definitive. Today I want to talk about why addictions are complex and challenging. I won't go into the specifics of my particular addictions, but I wanted to share some of the questions I've asked myself over the past couple of years as I've battled and contemplated them. Is it really a big deal? Is it philosophically wrong considering our situation in the universe? Does anything even really matter? I do feel bad after I do it, but isn't that just society? If I was the last man on earth, would I still do it? Would I feel bad about it then? It does add to my anxiety, and it's non-heroic. It's morally wrong, at least from other people's eyes. But it is who I really am. This is part of my self-expression and freedom. And if there's no major consequences long-term, is it really a big deal? Is it worth taking the risk, even if there are just small chances of catastrophic consequences? What if it makes me feel better as a person? But what if those affected by it are negatively affected, even just subtly? Is that fair to them? From the outside, you see this as a non-issue because you're unaffected by it. You don't have these dilemmas and desires to continue behavior that is enjoyable and seemingly not that bad. But the reality is that it's complex and continually reinforced over a long period of time. Something of that magnitude is not trivial to overcome. The only way you can really understand it is to consider sacrificing something in your own life. For example, imagine giving up religion if you're seriously religious, because atheism makes valid claims and maybe your religion is holding you back. Or maybe giving up video games or movies or TV because they just waste your time and stop you from being more productive. Or giving up meat and animal products, never eating cheese or butter again because you know deep down it's probably the ethical choice. This is very similar for addictions to drugs, bad behaviors, gambling, sexual perversions, whatever. It's something that shouldn't be trivialized. It should be taken very seriously because you have to not only overcome a possible physical addiction and withdrawal, but also the psychology and philosophy behind why it exists in the first place, which is monumental by comparison. Plus, addictions are developed over a long period of time. When you first start out, you are miles and miles away from what would be considered an addiction. It's invisible. It's insignificant. It doesn't become an apparent problem until long in the future when it's become an integral part of your life. Something that you've reinforced hundreds or thousands of times before. Giving that up is not trivial. Ultimately, for me, it was asking the right questions that allowed me to overcome my addictions. Do you want to be a slave to your addiction your whole life? Wouldn't it be ideal in the future to look back and have overcome it? Wouldn't you feel less of a man, less of a hero, if you fed into it your whole life? Is it worth a life of regrets for some momentary benefits or rewards? The answers to these are all no. And the realization is that you always have excuses not to start changing. But eventually you'll realize that time has passed. And you've made that excuse over and over and over again. And it will only change if you actually change right now. Not tomorrow, right now. This is the moment. Because this moment is the same moment as every other moment. And if you don't treat it as the moment when you finally change, you never will. You'll always give in. There isn't some special moment where everything suddenly becomes easier. It's now or never. Thanks for listening.